Good morning. Welcome to the First Religious Society, Unitarian Universalist in Newburyport, Massachusetts. My name is Art Henshaw, a member of the FRS Green Team. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. We are glad you are here. We come together at FRS online and in person, committed to love, peace, and justice. Our mission and our invitation to all of you is to come as you are, journey together in love, act with courage, transform our world. If you are worshiping online and would like to access this morning's order of service, please click on the link just below the live stream. This morning, we welcome Liam Amory to the pulpit. Liam is a young adult who grew up as a part of the FRS community through high school. He was fortunate enough to participate in coming-of-age programs, service trips, and to be part of a community that shaped his current perspective and values. In 2022, Liam earned a degree in civil engineering and in civil environmental engineering from UMass Amherst, and currently pursues his master's in environmental and water resources engineering, where he researches environmental contamination, specifically focused on lead and water. His full bio is printed in the order of service, and I welcome you to read the full bio. He has spent the past several summers working in Pine Ridge, South Dakota for the nonprofit organization Remember. He went to Pine Ridge for the first time with an FRS high school group when he was 14. Welcome, Liam. Today, we also welcome 4 young voices from the Newburyport High School Spoken Word program, as indicated in the order of service, to offer poetry readings. Welcome to you. Today, for the monthly FRS Justice Sunday program, the FRS Green Team invites you to gather downstairs after church for soup and salad, brought to you by the FRS Youth Group. I believe this is as a fundraiser for Pine Ridge. This is a fundraiser for their Pine Ridge trip. And for the Climate Justice Program, featuring a powerful short video by Greta Thunberg, an inspiring reading by Rebecca Solnit, a practical climate action quiz, plus some time to discuss living on Earth in this time of climate change. Thank you. It is good to be together. And now, the auction team would like to make an announcement.
Well, we all will be winners when you go to the FRS Arts and Services auction. It's at the Newburyport Community Center on May 5th at 6:30. We will provide dinner, beer and wine, and many awesome auction items for you to bid on. Some of them are Peter Rabbit's Garden Smorgasbord Dinner, provided by Betsy and Doug Latham. A beautiful photo taken at Pigeon Cove in Rockport, donated by Paula Renda. Or imagine this, someone reading to you or your loved one 2 times a month for 6 months, and providing 6 large print books of your choice. This amazing service is donated by Kathy Deslitz. The tickets are on sale now, online, and at the table after the service or the church office. Please, please, bid high and bid often. Come and be a winner with all of us. We will now return to our regularly scheduled service. Thank you.
The The words of our call to worship are from Janine Benyas, who writes, "Biomimicry is the conscious emulation of life's genius, based on principles derived from observing nature. These principles from nature include: nature runs on sunlight. Nature uses only the energy it needs. Nature fits form to function. Nature recycles everything. Nature rewards cooperation. Nature banks on diversity. Nature demands local expertise. Nature curbs excesses from within. Nature taps the power of limits. You are faithfully called to worship."
All the members of the Green Team are invited to light our chalice and read with us now, everyone, the chalice lighting that are in your orders of service. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for meaning in the celebration of the life we share together.
Each week, we also light 2 candles of peace, representing 2 places on earth we lift up and remember as a sacred encounter with our world. There are an untold number of places on earth that need peace. These 2 we especially hold close in this service and through the week ahead. After each candle is lit, I will invite you to respond by saying peace, sol, shalom. And something a little different, we have an intro to the candles of peace. With a deep sense from the Green Team, with a deep sense of responsibility, we admit to the existence and momentum of powerful global warming forces, causing climate change to persist and even to amplify in positive feedback loops, long and far into the future, until human efforts can slow down those forces. The first candle of peace. We light this candle of peace for the indigenous people of Alaska, who are facing displacement from their ancestral home settlements due to the melting of the permafrost upon which their homes are built. Due to global warming, permafrost, which underlies 85% of Alaska, is melting, causing buildings to sink. Ground sinking also results in the formation of new lakes. From the bottom of these, methane is leaking directly into our atmosphere. The 500-foot thick layer of permafrost had shielded us from the methane, but now the methane is being released from decaying ancient organic matter, adding greenhouse gases to our atmosphere and displacing thousands of Alaska's indigenous people. To this we respond, peace, sol, shalom. We light the second candle of peace for the children, for all the children in all places on our earth whose lives will be affected by climate change, in all generations and centuries of the future, as long as climate change persists, until humanity has managed to turn the tide. May our hearts be filled with understanding and compassion for all these children, and may we take action now. To this we respond, peace, sol, shalom. Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing our opening hymn, number 175. Thank you. Please remain standing as we join our voices in our affirmation of faith, followed by the doxology. The words can be found in your orders of service. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and the service is its prayer. To seek knowledge and peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. You may be seated.
Hi, everybody. These are the Young Church Singers.
Well, I think it's fine building jumbo planes or taking a ride on a cosmic train. Switch on summer from a slot machine. Get what you want when you want it.
Thanks, everyone. You were amazing. Well done. We're going to call up our friend Sandra for our Time for All Ages. As many of you know, Sandra does work and travels in Africa and is going to share, I'm going to help share a story that Sandra is sharing with us today. So, in Africa, in a remote village of Kenya, up in the hills, is a place called Malakisi. Am I saying that right?
And Bukaholo, too.
And Bukaholo. In that place, there used to be a dam, a big dam, surrounded by big, tall trees. What's a dam? What does a dam do? Yes, it holds back the water. So because of this dam, there were many springs and watering holes for all the animals and for the local people to get water for drinking and cooking and washing. But today, there's only a muddy, polluted pond where that big dam used to be. And Sandra has pictures here. Now, there are two people, Emmanuel and Elizabeth, who grew up in this village. And they went to the elders who lived nearby to find out what was going on. They met an old man who was once the protector of the dam. And he told them that there had been laws against fishing, taking water for irrigation, and against cutting down trees. He told people that there was a large snake with torch-like eyes that lived in the dam. And people believed that if the snake focused its eyes on you, something bad might happen. So no one dared to come and steal the water in the night. But eventually the government decided that there was no need for the dam protector. And the local people began to cut the forest and the trees around the dam so that there's now only this polluted pool. And you can see it's very, very little water and it's all murky looking. Even the springs and the other watering holes have dried up. Emmanuel and Elizabeth and their friends are planning to restore the forest and help bring back the water. They're going to plant many trees and educate the local families about the importance of those trees. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you for sharing. Maybe can we bring those pictures down with us, Sandra? And we'll look at these downstairs. And now please join us in singing the children to Young Church. I do that every time. Thank you.
The generosity of our community is an essential ministry that supports the work of the church, both in Newburyport and beyond. Each week, 50% of the Sunday offering, not designated as a pledge, goes to a local community partner engaged in important efforts to transform the region. The April shared collection will support Merrimack Black and Brown Voices. Merrimack Valley Black and Brown Voices provides Black, Indigenous, and people of color across the Merrimack Valley of Massachusetts with a safe space to connect, share resources, and create systemic change to eliminate prejudice and discrimination in surrounding communities. They plan social and cultural events. They also provide support for individuals and families in financial need, local Black and Brown owned businesses, and more. Please answer the call to support Black and Brown voices. In order to give online, please use the link in your order of service or below the live stream. You can also make a contribution by text, and of course, you can always mail a check to the church as well. Thank you. The offering will now be gratefully received.
Each week, we lift up the joys and sorrows of our beloved faith community. Nancy Kidd, our pastoral care associate, will light the candles as I read what has been shared with Reverend Rebecca in advance of today's service. If you would like to share a joy or sorrow to be read in the service, you can always send an email to betweenus@frsuu.org or write in the book located in the vestibule. Please keep Betsy Lewis in your thoughts as she recovers from a bad fall last week, resulting in a broken elbow and stitches. Betsy was on a long-awaited trip to San Diego with Joanne Carroll when this happened. She was treated at University of Colorado Medical Center and hopes to be home soon. Joanne was able to enjoy a visit with her daughter in Long Beach, California, and will return home this week. We light a candle in prayer and gratitude with John Gibson, who shares, "In the spirit of the resurrection and the blossoming of spring, please send healing energies to my friend Tom Condon and wife Esther, as Tom eases his way back from dementia to a quality of life that they've long enjoyed. They are great birders, so think of them as the birds fly about and build nests for another season. May peace of mind and body be with them and all of us." Two members of the FRS community who would like to remain anonymous want to thank their fellow church members who joined them in celebration of their recent milestone birthday. It was such a happy surprise, and their hearts are truly grateful for their shared fellowship and presence. Please join us in wishing Florence and John Mercer a very happy 48th wedding anniversary. They are enjoying a weekend away, and we wish them the very best. And also from Linda Lou Bercia, a joyful announcement that her husband, John, has his poetry displayed throughout the restaurant New, which is right across the street, and it will be there for the month of April, which is National Poetry Month. We also light one final candle, representing all those joys and sorrows, though unsaid, that are held in just as much love and care. And now, let us be in a moment of prayerful reflection. I invite you to close your eyes if you choose, and either remember or imagine a moment of sublime peace. Picture where you are, what you're doing. Are you with someone or alone? Probably most of us are thinking of being somewhere like a blooming garden, or on a mountaintop, beside a rushing stream, or walking on a beach, gazing at a dark, starry sky, or any of an infinity of blessed encounters with the natural world. How do you feel in that moment? What is it about that experience that calls forth those feelings? What is the value of having these experiences in your life? Now, leave that moment. Consider the rhythm and routine of your life, the press of obligations, the rush and racket, the tunnel vision that seems to unfocus everything beyond the hamster wheel of our days. Does it seem like a completely separate reality from the moment of sublime peace you just had in mind? We know this separation isn't healthy for us or the world within which we exist. Is it not time to live our lives in harmony with all life, so that our earth will be strong and healthy to welcome us into relationship for the moments of sublime peace that are essential to our existence? Amen, and blessed be.
Hello, my name is Nicholas O'Connor, and I will be reading the first poem. A warm wind blows across the Old West. Dust settles in men's hearts and catches in their spurs. The sun has set, and the sky is a deep rhythm of blue. A dog trots forward, sniffing the cool air. A few moments pass in an eternity. On the edge of the small town, only the sounds of nature prevail. The soft wind, rolling tumbleweeds, and the crunch of dirt under horses' hoofs. The chirping crickets. Out here, even the dog can see the beauty. Far away in distance and time, a woman sits free on the ledge of a cliff, the ground a distant, endless painting below. Through countless hours, she has learned the art of the rock, the strength and power in each crack and ridge. She sees its beauty in a way most do not. Some leagues below and away, a man rests in his cabin. The tall, thick trees protect him from the world. He is a strong man of muscle, but not of will. He finds the trees will not judge or trick him. He finds peace among the pines. He knows his existence cannot be a crime here. The nature will nurture his soul through mossy, babbling brooks and silent grazing animals. The dog will be happy. The woman will be free, and the man will be safe, so long as we protect our land.
My name is Evnie Martino, and I will be reading the second poem. It is our mother's purpose in our time, rebirth of all things sacred and new to us. She steps out of her cold, hardened skin like a snake sheds its former self and greets the sun, jovial, wet with morning dew and soft in strawberry blossoms. She bows her head to the chrysanthemums and the lilac bushes, welcomes them, finds space for them away from the acrid soil that lies too close to the Eden she's kept. Around us, stars fall whistling and tragic in their descent. Dust rises and plods down the desolate roads. And yet a piano plays a lullaby on the third floor. She is reclined at the dinner table, laughing with her lover over wine, each florid note stirring in the fog of her voice. And as the sun bows, a finale of sorts, they retire to bed, caught up in the sweet euphoria of dusk, the sound of the stubborn mourning dove, and our one true purpose, a love that bides unto death.
Hello, I'm Riley Doherty,
And I'm Kaisa Widger.
and we're going to be reading two poems for you. This first one is a villanelle, which is a French style of poetry where a few repeated phrases are woven through a poem. So this villanelle is called Earth's Promise. No matter if we breathe the air, seasons flutter in and out with ease. The year trods on without a care.
No snowflake joins a perfect pair, and flora is now apt to freeze, no matter if we breathe the air.
Tulips rise as if in prayer, thriving thanks to gracious bees. The year trods on without a care.
The earth, engulfed in tender flare, is soothed by swaying, shining seas, no matter if we breathe the air.
Leaves paint their bodies and prepare to proudly part with mother trees. The year trods on without a care.
Humans are seldom aware that nature never aims to please. No matter if we breathe the air,
the year trods on without a care.
We'll also be reading a second poem which is in the style of free verse. It's funny that we call her Mother Earth, as if her job were to bear our breath.
Provide us food from a welcoming breast, then work all the time so that we may rest.
I like to think we were more of an accidental pregnancy.
Yet she raised us,
Fed us from her gardens,
praised us,
and she might still love us.
but we are not her only kin.
The animals in her charge have as much right as we to walk these plains.
The plants and flowers need clean air and rain.
When we dirty her rivers, muddy her skin, she knows we threaten all life to which she has given birth.
Our pillaging won't gut the center of earth, but as we scrape the surface, we harm the only home Mother Nature has given us.
If we hope to reconcile with the world she has gifted us,
If we hope to outlive the effects of our own destruction, restoration must begin now.
Because the world does not revolve around us.
It will live on, even as we take our final bow.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Liam. For as long as I can remember, I've had a passion for nature and the outdoors. Many of my interests and hobbies, such as hiking, camping, water recreation, are all made possible because of our natural world and the efforts that have been made to preserve and protect many of these sacred areas. Many of the choices that I've made up to this point have been a result of this passion. I began studying engineering because I thought I could somehow apply my abilities in math and science to technology and research which could help the environment. My sophomore year, I took a seminar based around a book titled When the Rivers Run Dry, which discussed issues like waste and misuse, wrong-headed engineering projects, wars, treaties, and broken promises, all related to one of our most fundamental resources, water. Since then, my main ambitions have revolved around the protection and preservation of safe and available water, and I have seen and learned so much about this topic. I'm proud to have worked on projects that have greatly improved the water quality and access for some communities, but I've also learned and seen news about many other water catastrophes. Flint, Michigan, Jackson, Missouri, water restrictions in the southwest United States as the Colorado River dries more and more each year. I've gained an immense appreciation for this resource that many of us take for granted, as I've seen what happens when you lose it. I speak about water not only because that is my personal passion and what I have the most knowledge about, but I also think that many of us can picture the grave consequences that come with losing access to safe water. That being said, there are many impacts associated with climate change that many of us can mostly ignore for the moment without a huge impact to our personal lives. However, there are many who don't have this luxury of ignorance. A couple of summers ago, I spent some time on the North Slope of Alaska at a small research station hundreds of miles away from anything else. A dirt highway and an oil pipeline were the only things disturbing the endless rolling of the Arctic tundra. We were studying a specific kind of stream unique to the Arctic, and more specifically the permafrost that underlies it. Permafrost is the soil under the ground which never thaws in the Arctic, and is not only vitally important to the Arctic ecosystem, but also to the infrastructure constructed on top of it. Climate change and global warming has and is projected to have a major impact on permafrost thawing and the environment of northern Alaska and many other Arctic communities. These effects are having a disproportionate impact on the indigenous communities who live in these remote areas of northern Alaska. Ariel Lutt, a 19-year-old indigenous activist from Tuktoyaktuk, says, "Here in Tuk, our whole land is on permafrost. The thawing is completely changing our land structure, and with that, our wildlife is also being affected. Some of her neighbors have been forced to move because the ground was caving in under their houses." During my short stint in Alaska, we did not make any significant findings about permafrost streams or the climate, and we were not able to contribute to solving this problem. But I did gain an immense appreciation for the beauty of the land and remoteness of the North Slope. There would be days where we walked miles away from the road, and there is absolutely zero sign of any human civilization. Just the rolling hills around us, the tundra of vegetation, and the slow-moving stream that we were studying that day. It is beautiful and very rare today to experience a place that is completely untouched. But today, some of that land is under attack. Just a month ago, the Alaska Willow Oil Project was approved, which is located on the northern slope of Alaska and is the largest proposed oil drilling on U.S. public land. We constantly see projects such as this get approved, and it seems that for every supposed green initiative, there are many more going in the opposite direction. It can be extremely disheartening at times. How are we as individuals supposed to make a dent? I wish that I could say the steps I take to be more sustainable are making a huge difference, but the truth is my actions taken in isolation, if nobody else changed anything, would not fix this mess that we are in. It takes much more than a single person, no matter how much they are doing. Luckily, my actions are not in isolation, and the actions of many others are not in isolation. Many of my peers are intentional about their own actions and how to limit their footprint, and I have seen many of them, both locally and globally, mobilize to hold decision makers accountable and advocate for change, some in very big ways. Autumn Peltier is an activist from the Weequahem-Ekong First Nation in Canada, and at 13 addressed the UN General Assembly on the topic of water protection. She says, "We can't eat money or drink oil." Vanessa Nakate, the 25-year-old Ugandan climate activist, says, "Climate change is more than statistics. It's more than data points. It's more than net zero targets. It's about the people. It's about the people who are being impacted right now." It is not only these notable international activists with large audiences that are making a difference. In my own circle, I see many of my friends speaking out and working for change. People my age around me are conducting important research, leading protests, and educating others on the great environmental challenge that faces us. I remember during my sophomore year in college, there was a worldwide climate protest, and I joined many other students in a walkout where we gathered on the campus lawn chanting. I was listening to other students speak in front of the crowd, demanding a future in which we have clean air and water, demanding that we invest in clean infrastructure, and demanding that we take immediate action. I was very inspired by those leading the local protests and by all of those who were leading similar protests worldwide. But I was left feeling like I was missing something and confused about what I could do. Yes, I had gone to this protest, but what was I currently doing? What could I do to support this movement which I believe in? I did not have any convictions to ever be one of those people leading protests, organizing others, or shouting into a megaphone in front of hundreds of excited people. Those amazing youth voices that I highlighted earlier, while immensely inspiring, also in some ways discouraged me. These are people my age who are dedicating their lives to this movement. They're speaking in front of the United Nations and organizing millions of people. Am I really doing everything that I can for this issue that I supposedly care so much about? Since that protest, a lot has happened, both in my personal life and in the world. I participated in the first presidential primaries and election that I was eligible to vote in, and one of the biggest issues was climate change and resiliency, a bigger talking point than it had ever been before. I graduated university at a time in which as part of a large infrastructure bill, billions of dollars are diverted into improving our country's water resources and sustainability, something that I tend to take a large role in. There have been countless more protests, more and more organizations fighting the fight, and conversations between everyday people. I've not led any protests myself or spoken in front of people who are making policy, but looking back on the everyday choices that I make, the ways in which I voted and align my future career, the people who I have listened to and spoken with, I can say in a practical way that I'm doing what I can. Not everyone can be at the forefront of every single movement, and there are plenty of amazing people who are already making their voices heard above all others. But it is possible to hear their voices if they are not supported. And the truth is that with each passing day, we need to do that more and more. It seems like all the time we are hearing more somber projections of the future and even witnessing real-life climate catastrophes with our own eyes. While there have been innovations in green technologies and some policy paths, it is not nearly enough, and many of us are demanding more. There's a lot of talk about what to do and many promises made, but frankly, it does not mean anything when those promises are broken and we continue to move without action. My hope is to inspire change within others around me, because while the few voices leading the charge are vitally important, the true power of this movement, just like any other, comes from the many more voices who show up, support, educate and mobilize those around them, and give others no choice but to listen. Now please rise in body or spirit in joining us for our closing hymn.
The Green Team is joining us again, and please remain standing while we say our unison benediction. And let's see, maybe Pat will extinguish the chalice. May the love which overcomes all differences, which heals all wounds, which puts to flight all fears, which reconciles all who are separated, be in us and among us, now and always.
As we go forth from this sacred space, take these words from Robin Wall Kimmerer with you. Being naturalized to place means to live as if this is the land that feeds you, as if these are the streams from which you drink, that build your body and fill your spirit. To become naturalized is to know that your ancestors lie in this ground. Here you will give your gifts and meet your responsibilities. To become naturalized is to live as if your children's future matters, to take care of the land as if our lives and the lives of all our relatives depend on it, because they do. Go in peace, live actively and with conviction, return again in great joy.